Hello everyone and welcome to my Bachelor Nation 24 channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. The Curse of Oak Island. The drill team finds a massive underground tunnel, bigger than anything before. The Curse of Oak Island team has found the largest tunnel ever excavated on the island. At an incredible 7.5 feet tall, the guys are convinced the tunnel must have been used to transport something large and important. The Curse of Oak Island Season 11 returned last night with Episode 3, with many more exciting discoveries. On Lot 5, Gary Drayton and Rick Lagina unearthed an old ramrod guide, a device used to push projectiles into a musket that could date anywhere from the 1600s to the 1800s. However, the most interesting development from last night's episode was regarding an elusive secret tunnel. The guys have been attempting to track a tunnel they believe runs under the garden shaft from east to west and into the baby blob, and they've been having enormous success. The tunnel lies just over 100 feet below the surface, and the team hopes it will direct them to a secret chamber where they'll find untold riches. Oak Island team believes the tunnel dates to mid-18th century. On last night's episode, Crate Tester received the results of carbon-14, dating on a piece of wood pulled up from 108 feet to the east of the garden shaft. The guys were not disappointed as the woodcuts were dated at 55% from 1734 to 1804 and 24% from 1656 to 1684. The team read this data as meaning the tunnel was likely constructed as far back as the 1730s, over 50 years before the initial discovery of the Money Pit, which the depositors most likely built. And what a tunnel it turned out to be! The drill team then set up their rig a bit closer to the garden shaft, but still on the eastern side, and again, they hit evidence of a tunnel. At 108 feet, they hauled up a whopping 7.5-foot-long wooden beam. Terry Matheson instantly identified it as an upright beam, meaning this tunnel was almost 8 feet high, higher than any tunnel they'd found before. The beam had markings, which showed it had been cut by hand, maybe with an adze tool, so it was likely made before the invention of mechanical saws. The guys were absolutely blown away by the size of this beam. They asked why anyone would build a 7.5-foot tunnel at over 100 feet below the surface unless they were transporting a large amount of goods and wanted to do it in secret. The labor required to pull off such a feat in the mid-18th century is somewhat mind-boggling. Alex Lagina commented that he had only seen tunnels that size when visiting medieval Templar knight strongholds in Italy. Rick Lagina noted that they had never found a tunnel more than 4 or 5 feet high, and there was no indication of anything like this in the historical record. Oak Island guys will have to excavate the garden shaft to get to the 7-foot tunnel. The team couldn't wait to get a closer look at what was down there, so they popped a camera down the borehole, which soon plunged into the water and revealed nothing but a blank screen. Steve Gooptail peered down the hole and helpfully remarked that he could see which, and it was murky. We'll all just have to be a bit more patient. Representatives from Dumas Mining Company informed the guys they should have the permits to start working on the garden shaft by the end of the month. Once the miners get their paperwork in order, they can start deepening the garden shaft and then hopefully begin lateral digging toward this tunnel, so we can all see what is really going on down there. In the meantime, Gary and the guys are bound to find more interesting stuff on Lot 5. Apart from the ancient Roman coins found a couple of weeks ago, they keep uncovering a selection of pottery and artifacts going back to the 17th and 18th centuries. The guys are increasingly convinced that the mid-18th century, around the 1740s, is the time period when something major occurred on Oak Island. The Curse of Oak Island had captivated audiences for years, the elusive promise of hidden treasure and ancient mysteries drawing in both treasure hunters and history buffs. Every twist and turn, every new discovery, seemed to bring the Lagina brothers closer to unraveling the island's secrets. But nothing could have prepared them for what they were about to uncover. It was a crisp autumn morning when the drill team, led by the ever-determined Marty Lagina, began their latest excavation. The air was filled with anticipation and the scent of damp earth. The team had identified a promising new spot using the latest ground-penetrating radar technology. The data hinted at something substantial beneath the surface, something far larger and more intricate than anything they had encountered before. Rick Lagina stood nearby, his eyes fixed on the drilling rig as it hummed and vibrated, slicing through layers of soil and rock. Years of searching had taught him patience, but his heart still raced with every meter they drilled. Beside him, the team of experts, geologists, historians, and engineers watched the monitors, analyzing the feedback from the drill. As the drill bit reached a depth of 150 feet, it suddenly broke through a hollow cavity. The sound was unmistakable, a sharp clank that echoed through the rig. The team exchanged glances, their expressions a mix of excitement and disbelief. Could this be it? The fabled vault or chamber they had been seeking? Carefully, they extracted the drill core, and what they saw sent waves of astonishment through the group. The core sample was unlike any they had seen before. It contained fragments of finely cut stone, ancient wood, and even traces of metal. But most tellingly, it was laced with what appeared to be fragments of parchment, evidence of human activity and craftsmanship. Marty immediately ordered the next phase, sending down a remote camera. As the camera descended into the dark void, the screen flickered and then displayed a sight that made everyone gasp. The camera revealed a massive underground tunnel, its walls lined with expertly carved stone, extending farther than the light could reach. The tunnel was colossal, far more expansive than any previously discovered shafts or booby traps. "This is incredible," whispered Craig Tester, the team's engineer and longtime friend of the Laginas. "It's not just a tunnel, it's a subterranean highway." The discovery of the tunnel was a game changer. Over the next few weeks, the team worked tirelessly to explore and map the vast underground structure. They sent in more sophisticated equipment, drones, sonar devices, and even a small robotic rover to navigate the labyrinthine passageways. What they found confirmed their wildest dreams. The tunnel network was an intricate maze with multiple chambers and offshoots, some flooded with seawater, others filled with air and remarkably well preserved. Theories began to fly. Who could have built such an extensive underground system? And why? Was it the work of the Knights Templar, as some had long speculated, or perhaps the remnants of a lost civilization, their secrets buried deep within the earth? As they delved deeper into the tunnel system, the team discovered signs of ancient habitation. There were tools and artifacts, some dating back centuries, if not millennia. One chamber contained a cache of scrolls, wrapped in protective oilcloth and still legible. The scrolls, written in a cryptic script, hinted at a hidden history of the island, one that intertwined with tales of pirates, explorers, and secret societies. The most astonishing find, however, came when they breached a large, domed chamber. In the center of the room stood a stone pedestal, and upon it, an ornate chest. The chest was bound with iron straps and covered in strange symbols. With trembling hands, Rick and Marty approached the chest. It took hours of delicate work to pry it open without damaging its contents. Inside, they found a hoard of treasures, gold coins, jeweled artifacts, and a stunningly intricate golden cross. But the real treasure was a set of ancient manuscripts, their pages filled with detailed maps, coded messages, and historical accounts that seemed to confirm many of the legends surrounding Oak Island. One manuscript, in particular, stood out. It was a diary, written in elegant script, chronicling the journey of a group of Templars who had flooded Europe with a precious cargo. The diary detailed their voyage, the trials they faced, and their eventual arrival on a remote island where they constructed a hidden sanctuary to protect their secrets from the world. As they pieced together the diary's narrative, Rick and Marty realized they were standing in that very sanctuary. The underground tunnel system was not just a means of transporting treasure. It was a refuge, a hidden archive preserving knowledge and wealth that had been lost to the sands of time.